Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. And for all my continued followers, I want to say thank you. And this is an opinion-based video channel where I try to open your eyes and ears up to some of the travails and tribulations that take place throughout our cities, our states, our country, and sometimes around the world. And I got one for you straight out of Oakland County in the state of Michigan. And what is happening with some of our so-called professionals in today's time. There's been a lot of craziness with many lawyers, judges, finding themselves in a chaos of criminality, and also some of our physicians and doctors who took an oath of helping and healing, and for some reason they turned diabolical and started hurting people. And this case is a bizarre case of a 40-year-old internal medicine doctor out of Michigan. And what he has been accused of is just very heinous and unfortunate. And if these allegations are true, then he needs to be off the streets. So let's get into it. Oakland County doctor charged with essaying women and recording children in the nude. An Oakland County doctor accused of recording children undressing and essaying unconscious women in hospital beds has the potential to have more victims than disgraced Olympic doctor Larry Nassar. Oakland County Sheriff Michael Bouchard announced in a news conference. In one of the worst cases of essay abuse he's seen in nearly 40 years of law enforcement services, Bouchard said internal medicine Dr. Omar Ajaz, 40, isn't bound by personal or medical relationship to his victims like Dr. Nassar was. Hundreds of women and children came forward during the Nassar case with their stories of abuse. Remember, Larry Nassar was the Olympic doctor for the female gymnasts. And it says that hundreds of women came forward and children came forward during the Nassar case with the stories of abuse before he was sentenced to essentially 3 life sentences from federal court and 2 state courts between 2017 and 2018. And remember, Larry Nassar was up in Michigan, and was associated with Michigan State University. So look at the similarities with this Dr. Omar Ajaz and Dr. Larry Nassar. So, but it says in this story, this individual, Dr. Omar Ajaz, potentially is one of the worst I've ever seen because there's no particular category. It's not just children. It's not just women. It's not just men. It goes from a 2-year-old to a grown woman. And so the victimization is so broad and the perversion so great that we're just beginning to wrap our arms around it, Bouchard said. There's nobody that's out of bounds for this sick activity. Dr. Ajaz is accused of recording children as young as 2 and adult women of varying ages with hidden cameras in hospital rooms, bathrooms, changing areas, bedrooms, and closets. As a contracted physician, the sheriff's office says he had access to patients at Ascension Genesis Hospital and in Grand Blanc Township and Henry Ford Macomb in Clinton Township, those 2 hospitals. He is charged with 1 count of child essay abuse activity, 4 counts of capturing an image of an unclothed person, and 5 counts of using a computer to commit a crime. He was arraigned in Rochester Hills Court. As the case proceeds, Bouchard said he expects there to be many more victims, identified as the sexual violence likely goes back to at least 6 years. Dr. Ajaz is an Indian citizen who has been working in the U.S. on a visa since around 2011, moving to Dawson, Alabama around 2018, and then returning to Michigan sometime later. He is being held in jail on a $2 million bond. As a mom, this case hits home, Oakland County Prosecutor Karen McDonald said, as the charged offenses involve reports that Dr. Ajaz targeted a mom and her 2 and 4-year-old children at Goldfish Swim School in Rochester Hills in August of 2023. These allegations stem from a mom bringing her young children to a swim school and taking them into a changing room and getting them changed, McDonald said. And the allegations are that the defendant was filming them from a nearby changing area stall. And it's terrifying as a mother, and we're going to do everything we can to hold him accountable. So this doctor was even filming individuals, including children, at this Goldfish Swim School. So he's got these allegations at hospitals, at this swim school. You talk about mental illness and perversion at its premium in this particular case. Bouchard and McDonald repeatedly praised the swim school for cooperating with the investigation, and there's no evidence that anyone at Goldfish knew what was happening. It was Dr. Ajaz's wife who brought forth the explicit materials that supported the charges, Attorney McDonald said. Dr. Ajaz has 2 young sons, Bouchard said, and he wouldn't put it past him to use his sons to access other children at the swim school and beyond. Law enforcement in their search have confiscated 6 computers, 4 cell phones, 15 external storage devices, with one of the hard driving holding 13,000 videos law enforcement has to review. The review process might take up to 6 months. It's hard to look at the videos of that activity where a woman is basically unconscious in a hospital bed and he's violating her, to a 2-year-old thinking they're out for a great swim one day and they're being captured undressing, Bouchard said. Dr. Ajaz appeared to have no specific targets. There could be virtually nothing that ties a victim to Dr. Ajaz other than instances of proximity, unlike with Dr. Nassar, the Olympic doctor. Women and girls said during their victim impact statements that Nassar was their friend or a trusted doctor that treated Olympians, and they felt lucky to be seen by him before the abuse. When you think about the incredible perversion and destructive activity of Dr. Nassar, he had a much smaller group of victims in terms of potential, Bouchard said. There's no limit to the perversion of this individual, talking about Dr. Ajaz. So we're going to need the public's help and the victims' help, because a lot of these we may not even be able to identify, because we have so many videos of people. We have no idea who they are or what the venue is. Bouchard said the scope of the investigation is broad and could look at countries all over Michigan, other states, and even other countries. So he said, Bouchard said the scope of the investigation is broad and can look at other counties all over Michigan, other states, and even other countries where this alleged these perpetrated acts took place, with video recordings of adults and of children. And there is even allegations of him essaying unconscious women at least 2 hospitals. What in the world is happening to some of our physicians out here today? This case is extremely alarming. We as patients, we go to our doctors and hope that they can help us. We're putting our life and our soul in their hands, and based on their intellectual capability as physicians, we're hoping that they will help us and heal us. And evidently this doctor, who has to be mentally ill, they can't even put a number on how many people he has alleged to have recorded in nude ways or undressing, unclothing ways in public places and also at a couple of the hospitals. As of now, there have been several civil suits, and the two hospitals that he was associated are in those civil suits as we speak. And this gentleman is being held on a $2 million bond in Oakland County, Michigan, waiting to find out what is going to happen to him. This man needs to be off the street if any of these allegations are true. And we're talking about, what did it say in here? 13,000. We're talking about 6 computers, 4 cell phones, 15 external storage devices, with one of the hard drives holding 13,000 videos. 13,000. This man has been busy being diabolical and being perverted. This is an unfortunate story straight out of Michigan, Oakland County, Michigan. And here again, I say it all the time, the unbelievable will become the believable, and the unseen will be seen. This is a very unfortunate circumstance, and where are we headed in this world today with all of these demonic forces that are taking place? Tell me what you think about this story. This has been the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth in a positive, righteous, and God-fearing way.